Hi everybody, my name is Miss Cobbs and we're going to start off by going over a new civics project. So we're going to start by going to my Google site, and I'm going to have you go under the Technology Integrated Instructional Materials and go to that screencast assignment bar. And then you're going to see our youth stand up exercise, and you're going to see the 5 different steps for this project. We're going to first start out with step 1, pick your project. So we're going to launch this, and ideally I'll have you sign in so that way you can submit your progress and save your work. But for this purpose, I'm going to continue as a guest. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at different problems within our communities, neighborhoods, schools, or the world at large that we want to fix. So this is a step-by-step process, and our 5 different steps are: we're going to choose a problem or an issue that is important to you. You're going to educate yourself on that problem. You're going to set a goal to help solve that problem. Make a plan to reach your goal, and then put your plan into action and assess your results. So this is going to be over a civics course. So what is civic action? And when you have a moment, you're welcome to watch this Youth Stand Up 101 Common Myths, just to learn a little bit more about what that is. But for now, we're going to continue on. So this gives us an example of Defend Dreamers. One issue that we have seen a lot in the past couple years with immigration laws. So this is just an example of something that may be important to a lot of our students that we work with now. Here's an example of a couple other topics that you could choose from, such as bullying, environmental and climate change, health and safety, racial justice, housing, LGBTQ, and gender bias. So these are our 6 main topics. If there's something else that's really interesting to you, go ahead and write that down and we'll chat about it and see if we can do that for you, okay? Below there's a couple different questions they want you to answer and fill out with your group. We'll do groups of 3 and we'll set up to those in just a little bit. Here's the questions are going to talk about topic selection. So this is a sample one of food and hunger insecurity. So it's going to ask you how you're seeing this issue in the community, one way you see or hear about it in the media or in the news, and then you're going to find an article online within the past 6 months to a year and add it on. Then there's a bunch of different videos I want you to watch. So there's one on Black Lives Matter, climate justice. There's a poet activist, redefining stereotypes, education reform, and civil rights. So you're going to watch through all of those, and then you're actually going to pick 2 of them and re-watch them and answer these questions below. So why you chose that particular issue, how they got started, what this person's primary goal was and what they hope to achieve, what they do to achieve their goal, and how their outcome was. So was it successful? Things like that. So this is going to be the final call on the topic selection. So you're going to narrow it down to 1 topic, and you're going to provide 2 reasons that you chose that topic. Then once you're done with that, you're going to submit it. That way I can review it, and then we would move on to step 2, which is back on my Google Sites. So this is going to be our research part of the topic. So we'll launch that again. So why do we need research? Well, before we can solve a problem for a community or school, we need to understand exactly what the problem is and who or what's causing it, or who it's impacting, or what it's impacting, or what solutions have already been tried. So there's a lot of different reasons why we need to do that research. So you're going to begin to look for, learn about your big topic that your group's choosing. You're going to kind of narrow down that focus for your project, and then we're going to begin to look at solutions. So getting to know your topic, you're going to identify it, read, and take notes from a few different sources, and you're going to fill it out below. So, basic definitions, what other issues or problems you're finding in your research. These are some examples for that food insecurity sample if you need some exemplars. So now that we're really narrowing down that focused question, we're going to ask what issues or problems are related to our big topic that we found interesting or that make us think about something in our lives or community. So how is it affecting us? How is it making you feel? What's feeling doable? You can't fix your big topic, but what's a piece of it that's manageable? So if you're looking at climate change, you can't fix necessarily all of the waste in the ocean, but you could start with recycling and picking up around your community and starting walks to pick up trash, things like that. Here's another example for the food insecurity. So about what your group focus is. And then you're going to do that community research part of it. So how you're seeing it in your community, what issues it's causing, who it's impacting, who or what is working in the community to solve this issue, what strategies or solutions they've tried, and then data or statistics that can help you show others that it's a significant problem and it deserves attention. And then you're going to kind of wrap up your research with your group, and you're going to begin to think about the next steps, which is your action plan. So have you read something that other organizations are already doing that's inspired you? Did you read about the role of local government in these activities? Did you discover school-based programs or policies? Once we finish up with your research, then we're going to move into setting goals. So what do you want to happen? Wanting change often comes from feelings like compassion, anger, hope, fear, or just wanting to help others. So actually making change happen is a step-by-step process. So you have to pick out that problem, research it, and we're going to set some goals. So your goal is the change you want to make happen as a result of your civic action project. So this is what you want, the change you want to see within your community. So you're going to brainstorm possible goals with your group. So possible project goals, things you can try to do, possible solutions. Okay? So now we're going to go into our someday goals and our right now goals. So someday goals are going to be those things like clearing out all the plastic in the ocean. But my right now goal is going to be recycling plastic bottles and picking up trash I see on the street. Here's a video about civic action and community service. So what's the difference? Community service, you hold a bake sale at a school to donate money that you raise for a local food bank. Civic action is you're starting a petition to open a food pantry in your neighborhood that operates year-round with funding provided in part by the city and government. So one is a more temporary solution than the other. You also want to make sure that your goal is within reach. You don't want to make something that is unattainable. So for the food insecurity, an outsized goal is get at least one full-service supermarket to open up in your neighborhood. That is quite a big goal to achieve by yourself, right? But a goal within reach is provide monthly food donations to neighborhood food pantries to feed in food insecure families in our community. That's something you could do because you could donate however much you are able to that month. So you're going to set all of those goals, your right now and not your someday. your civic action, not community service, and it needs to be within reach, specific, very feasible. Okay? Before we're moving on to step 4, think about your goal and some questions you already can predict and you'll need to answer or have answered in order to put your goal in action. So go ahead and start thinking of some of those questions. Who should you speak to get this problem solved? What sort of places should you start with? All right, then you're going to start making your plan. All right. So we've done our research. We've decided what our goals are, and now we're going to try and put them into action. We're going to make our plan for that. So creating a better understanding of the problem for people and building an awareness around them includes actions like organizing a debate or community forum, informing the general public about a problem through an article, speech, social media, or artwork, or organize a march, rally, or protest. So I'm going to have you write down 2 or 3 ideas using the building awareness strategy from your right now goal. So how could you build awareness if our right now goal for food security example is going to be putting up posters in the school, arranging for an article in the school paper, and speaking to the school committee about asking for support and possible funding. Okay. Influencing policy, how could you push this change and how are things done in a school or state? So we're going to push, you could have to push for a new law or repeal of an existing law, present at school communities with a plan to change how resources are used, increase the influence of young people in government by lobbying to add a student advisory council. Part of your plan is going to be figuring out who to talk to. So if your goal is going to be that food insecurity, you're going to need to talk to potential grocery store owners, food restaurants, coffee shops, anywhere that has any sort of resources that we could give out to the community that is food-based. So you're going to identify 1 to 2 people or groups that you think would be a good contact for the project. You may have to do a little bit of digging to get the specific contact information below. And then you're going to put together an action plan. So this one is the example for food insecurity and everybody eats. So you have to ask the principal's permission, find out if a local food pantry wants to work with the team, recruit student artists, paint and decorate the school's food club donation area, and arrange a school assembly. And then review and regroup later. So you're going to need to make that step-by-step action of how you're going to implement your change that you want to do. So step 1, through however many you have, a description, helpers, and what you hope to achieve. Then we're coming up on our last step to complete your project. All right, so we're going to try and put that action into plan. All right, so you're going to transfer your action steps and assign a group member to be responsible for each one. You're going to figure out which each action step should be completed so that way you meet the final project completion date, and identify any resources you need to carry out in each action step. So this is a chart below for you to fill that out. So we're going to be doing group presentations. So once your group has come together and you've assigned who's going to do the research for what, you're going to talk about what your right now goal is, why you chose this and why it's important. You need an image or graphic that helps you convey your right now goal. You're going to go over your action plan. So what's your big strategy, provide details about 1 or 2 of your steps. And then you're going to do results and reflection. So what worked well in the project, what didn't work well, what are you satisfied or proud of, and what did you learn about this that you didn't know before? And knowing all that you know now, what would you do differently next time?